Hello, I'm Kim, the Content Marketing Specialist at Covetrus. My guest today is Will Stirling, Managing Partner at Vets Digital. They are Europe's largest veterinary-only marketing agency that have a range of services from SEO to email marketing to web design and campaign management. In today's episode, we talk about marketing strategy. Is it corporate nonsense or will it actually be useful at my practice? Will gives us practical advice on how you implement a marketing strategy, why intention is important, and why thinking about your actual goals will dictate the right kind of plan. He also gives us his top 3 tips on things that you can implement today and not sometime in the far distant future. Things that are really easy, simple, and something that your practice can adopt almost immediately. We also talk about the issue where your practice might not have enough resource or time, so you might want to think about utilizing the full functionality of your practice management system to automate the communications, or you can potentially outsource the efforts too. So with Will's business at Vets Digital, they can take care of these efforts for you. We recognize that practices don't always have staff that are too experienced, or you simply just don't have the bandwidth. So let's dive in and have this chat with him. Hi, Will. How are you doing?
Hi, Kim. Yeah, very good. Thanks. Excited to be here today.
Good. So this is, I think it's our 11th episode of the Pause, Rewind and Play podcast. And it's been quite a journey because we started it last year and we've had a fantastic roster of guests, which have entailed from leadership roles to vet influencers in the veterinary industry, and we've had such fascinating insights. And for you are obviously the managing partner at Vets Digital, so it'd be really great to hear more about your role and what it is that you do.
Sure. Yeah. So I'd say I'm Will. The company I work with is called Vets Digital. We are Europe's largest veterinary-only marketing agency. And so that means that we deal with all different sorts of businesses in the veterinary industry, from tiny little one-man band independent vets all the way up to pharmaceutical companies and just about everything in between. We do a lot of work with independent practices each day, helping them with their marketing strategy and also with just anything to do with digital marketing, really.
Cool. So when it comes to marketing, I think a winning question and things that we often hear from practices is, how important is it to have a marketing strategy in place at the clinic?
Well, I think it's really important. I think it's absolutely vital, in fact. So many practices that we speak to never get around to having a strategy, and they're always kind of fighting a rearguard action, shall we say, where they're just reacting to stuff rather than having something already put in place. I think having a strategy is important for 3 reasons, really. It saves you time, it saves you money, and it also saves you stress as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I really think it's vitally important. And it's something that really doesn't take very long to do. When you're setting out your annual business plan, you can also just set aside an hour or 2 just to do your annual marketing plan alongside that. And your marketing plan can deliver on the goals that you've set in your business plan. So something that doesn't take much time. You just identify what it is that you want to achieve for the year, whether it's making more money or getting more customers, or maybe having less customers but better customers. Whatever that your goal is, it pays to put a strategy in place to help you achieve that goal.
Sure. So I was about to probe on that actually, which is, what were the key motivators? And I think for a clinic or a practice, it's really important to identify the intention with which you plan to go out into the world and how you promote yourselves and how you promote your brand and identity. And that's almost what shapes your marketing strategy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really important to say, yeah, exactly as you're saying, to identify what it is that you want to achieve. And then it's also important to have some measurable goals as well. So rather than just say, we'd like to make more money, which is kind of how
we all,
yeah, a lot of practices would go around it that way. But it would be much better, obviously, to say, how much money is it that you want to make, and then obviously set that as your goal, and then aim for that, because then you can work out the methods that you want to use in order to reach that goal. If it's too vague, then it's much harder to achieve what you want.
Yeah, and because I don't imagine a lot of clinics are saying, or this might be the opposite of what I'm hearing, but for example, demand is so high already, after the pandemic with the puppy boom and everything. It's not like they need more clients, but what else might a clinic say when they're thinking about their marketing strategy and tactics? Mm-hmm. Is it that they want to engage more, as you say, higher quality clients or something like that, repeat clients?
Yeah. So there are some practices out there, like you're saying, who are in the very fortunate position of being almost too busy. They're in a minority, but they do exist. And they, can have equally achievable and equally important goals, but they can just choose to focus on other areas. So for instance, if you've got a practice that's too busy, quite often that actually comes alongside the fact that they might be short of staff. So they're feeling particularly under pressure. So in that instance, then obviously, yes, you turn your marketing focus away from attracting new clients and turn it towards attracting new members of staff, for instance. So you're still doing marketing, but just in a different direction.
Yeah, with a different angle. So my next question is around sort of what's trending. What's the top 3 tactics or the top 3 things that I can implement in my practice almost immediately, something that's not difficult to achieve or to do?
There's quite an easy answer to that one, I think, for the main one, and that is just to use your practice management software to its full potential. Just about no practice does, and it's something which every practice can do, because you have the practice management software already there. You're already using it. You've already paid for it. It's there and it's ready to go. And that's where there's just so much potential for people. Most practice management software now, or not most, but a lot of it is, really powerful. It's got great functions and features, especially when it comes to, talking or opening dialogue with your customers. And that's where you can make really quick and easy wins straight away by simply, reappraising the way that you're sending out reminders and checking that they're actually being sent out to all the right people and that they're worded nicely, and that you have like a sequence for your reminders. For instance, your Baxi reminders, that you have like a plan in place, that how many you send out, the way you send them out, the wording, and how you follow up, all those kinds of things. So that is like the first absolutely key thing that practices should do straight away. Apart from that, what am I thinking of? Other things that will drive stuff? Well, obviously, then there's social media. Lots of practices don't utilize it effectively, I think. They feel that it's enough to just put out a quick bit of content like, isn't the weather nice today, or something like that, which, gets a smaller...
Brits love to talk about the weather, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, it does get some engagement, but it's not necessarily driving anything in your business. So again, you can look then at your social media plan and maybe decide to insert some, I wouldn't say sales is too strong a word, but insert some posts each month where you're actually talking about products that you offer, or special deals, or people can come in on a certain day and get money off, or whatever it is. But to introduce a little bit of business into your social media, and also just to generally make sure that you're posting regularly, maybe sort of 3 times a week, I think is probably pretty good. And with a nice mix of content and engaging stuff, so that customers want to engage with you at the practice.
Yeah, and can I just add to that, actually, when it comes to social media, I think it's important to give your brand a personable feel, right? So it might be that you post something when you have a new staff member, or just sort of behind the scenes at the clinic when you're obviously with the consent of the customer, that you might take a picture with the patient and the pet. And it just adds depth, I suppose, as opposed to just businessy stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The business stuff should only be kind of 10% of your content.
Yeah.
But lots of practices feel nervous or reticent about posting content. They feel it's not interesting enough. And oftentimes they don't realize that, generally the general public love anything about pets. So just about anything you can post will be well received. But it's just again, it goes back to having a strategy in place, that if you need to, rather than sit there every Monday morning and go, oh no, I've got to post something on Facebook, what am I going to post? If you actually got a strategy in place that just says, I'm going to post, this year we will post 3 times a week, Monday mornings, Wednesday mornings, and Friday mornings. And each week we'll do one post, which is a cute pet, one post, which is a staff story, staff, and one post, which is a more businessy post, something like that. But if you've got that in place, then you no longer have to sit there in the morning and go, oh no, what am I going to post? Because it's Wednesday, today's the day I do a cute puppy or kitten post.
Yeah, good advice. And what's your third top tip?
I would say it ties in slightly with the practice management software, which is using your email newsletters better. Mm-hmm. Again, most practices don't really use their newsletters. They often forget to send them out regularly. And especially, it's really important when it comes to pet health plans. If you've got clients on your pet health plan, you really should be sending out regular emails to them, which remind them of the value that they're getting on their plan. Monthly is good, that you should be just telling people, you've got 3 months to your next consultation, but don't forget, as part of your plan, you get flea and worm treatment and things like this. Because if you continually remind people of the value that they're getting, then when it comes to the end of the year, when they're renewing their subscription, they're far less likely to drop out. So you're building that relationship, and it's revenue generating opportunities for sure. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important. So in your position as a managing partner at Vets Digital, obviously there's a consultancy element. What would you say? Your answer might be a little bit biased, but of course there are massive advantages to having a consultant on board where you may not necessarily have the resource or the time to think about marketing, because a vet's practice, the staff are fully focused on treating patients, and that's it. So is there anything else that you'd like to add there from that perspective? In terms of what, marketing tactics?
No, just marketing consultancy. So having an advisor on board or outsourcing the marketing efforts.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically most clinics are, as you say, they're really busy doing the important work of vetting. And marketing is important, but it's something that every clinic should be doing. But at the same time, obviously, you have pressing day-to-day stuff where you have to deal with clients and all those things too. So that's where we come in, as an extra pair of hands. And I think nearly all of our team members are nurses or were nurses or vets, so they understand exactly what it's like, and they know exactly how to speak in the voice of a practice. So that's kind of, we're an extra pair of hands in that regard.
Yes, I do like that analogy, extra pair of hands. Well, I think that sort of concludes our conversation, Will, because I really feel that sort of quick thoughts from an expert like yourself will go a long way, and just little sort of bite-sized nuggets will help those who are listening. So what we'll do is we will link to in the show notes any resources that might be useful from a practice management perspective, and also Vets Digital and any of the consultancy or advice that you guys are able to help out on. But yeah, great quick conversation. And I hope you have enjoy the rest of your week.
Brilliant. It's been great to talk to you. Thanks a lot for that, Kim.
Thanks, Will.
All right. Speak soon. Bye.
So I think this chat represents how important it is to have a regularity and cadence, especially in marketing. When Will gave us the tip on social media, for example, he's saying instead of just ad hoc or sporadically posting something every 3 months, you might want to incorporate into your strategy, I'm going to post something twice a week or 3 times a week, and then you would dictate what type of post would go out in that week. And then it just eventually becomes habitual and behaviorally much easier for your staff to operate within that realm, and it becomes easier almost to take care of your marketing. So even this podcast, for example, at Covetris, I have a commitment to release a monthly episode, and I stick to that. Just having that plan in place keeps me accountable. So I think, yes, Will has like those top tips. A lot of it is often talked about. It might seem cliche, but the reminder and regularity part is really important. I do hope that you have enjoyed the conversation as much as I have. And as always, we'll put the show notes in the links or the resources below. Take care.